It's cold, it's wet, it's dark. This time of year we often get depressed. There doesn't seem to be much light. It's dark when you wake up, it gets dark about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And we can often get depressed and feel gloomy, and there's not much hope during this season. Maybe you're feeling like that right now. Well, I'm going to share 10 things that I have learned about depression. Join me on this journey. Depression is real. We don't deny the diagnosis, but we do defy the verdict. The first thing I've learned about depression is it's not about the issue. Often a circumstance happens, somebody upsets us, we go through a difficulty, we face a crisis, and then that leads us into a spiral of depression. But actually, we have to recognize it's not about that issue. That has not caused the depression. It has led us into a situation in which we're more likely to get depressed. But actually, it's not about the issue. It's about how we respond to the issue. And what we don't want to hear at this time, when we're going through a situation like that, is joy is a choice. We have a choice of how we respond to the circumstances that we face. The second thing I've learned about depression is this, that we act ourselves into our feelings. Often when we feel something, it affects our thoughts, or maybe our thoughts lead to our feelings, but actually it's the actions that change our brain. It's doing something that makes a difference, but it's the thing that we least want to do. When you're feeling depressed, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to go out, you don't want to get moving, you don't want to work, you don't want to do the things that you've been putting off. But actually, it's the actual doing of it that will change our feelings and will change our mind and the way we think about things. So be like Nike, just do it. We don't deny the fact that we're depressed, we don't just pretend or be positive or whatever. But where is it actually heading? What can we do about it? So get up, get moving, and do something about it. You'll see a change in your brain and your feelings. Okay, the third thing I've learned about depression is this. It often takes quite a while for depression to lift. It's a dark feeling. Sometimes it's like a cloud, sometimes it's like a pit, and we can't get out of it. And sometimes our brain feels foggy. And when we start to do things and we think things are going to change, but often the reality is it takes a while for things to change. But things will gradually get better. You will feel a bit better. Things can change in a moment, but often it's a little bit every day, and it often takes days or weeks for depression to lift. But keep moving forward, keep doing little things, and you will see that things will gradually begin to change. The fog will lift. Sometimes I've noticed in the middle of a day, things can get really better and you think the depression has lifted, but then it comes back again, and you notice but it's not quite as bad as it was. Keep moving forward, you're doing really well. Okay, the fourth thing I've learned about depression is that God can help. God can help us. You might even be blaming God for your situation and say, why doesn't God help me? But you know, there's a verse in the Bible that says, even though I go through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. God is with us in the midst of some of the most difficult circumstances that we face, and He can help us. His resources are available. We can cry out to Him and He is real. And the Psalms, particularly I want to focus on Psalm 42 and 43, but many of the Psalms are a songbook right in the middle of the Bible, and they help us to engage with God however we're feeling, whatever we're going through. And often they'll ask the question, why? Why am I feeling depressed? Why am I struggling? Why do I feel angry? Why do I feel confused? And you bring all of those things, you own them, and you bring them to God. And it's a wonderful way of praying. Don't blame others, but bring it, own it, and bring it to God. The fifth thing I've learned about depression is this: there are lots of things that can help, but often it's about preventing depression. We can create rhythms in our life. We can identify trigger points or signals ahead of time. We can develop habits of healthy eating, drinking water and fluids, making sure we get regular exercise. You might not feel like going for a walk, but go for a walk, get outside, get moving. There are these things that will help us. Often it's about prevention. And once we're in the pit, we feel we can't get out, but we can develop regular habits and patterns in our life that will help us to ward off depression, notice the trigger points in our life, and be able to veer things off.